glasses are dirty. But yes, vlog number 3 for March. It is spring break, so you might hear my son yelling in the background because he's playing Fortnite. But I wanted to let you guys know that I finally finished The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. My library re-released it to me, and it was so good. Now the themes, the setting, the time period, not a huge fan of all of that. We are talking about the Dust Bowl, the Great Depression, all of that stuff. And while the book was really, really well written, the themes are not things that I like lean towards. I did, however, end up giving it 5 stars because it was so good. And if you want to talk about endings that will tug at your heartstrings, Kristen Hanna is the absolute master of that. So good. I cannot get over how good it is, or how good her endings are. But I just thought it was beautiful, just as all of her books are beautiful, fantastic. Also, you guys might have noticed since my library tour, the books back here have changed a little bit. I want to reiterate the fact that I unhaul books quite often, and I do rearrange my books a little bit when I do an unhaul and try and get the books that I enjoy out on my shelves, or that I think I'm going to enjoy out on my shelves. And so I have set some books aside to unhaul yet again, but that's just me. That's how I am. So I'll probably end up doing library tours at least once a year, so you guys can see how the books have changed on my shelves and everything like that. Now, let's get into the book that I'm currently reading. City of Dark Magic by Magnus Flight. Y'all, this book is weird. Weird, weird, weird. Also, can you guys read that tagline there? I don't know if you can see it because I can't even see the camera. I guess I overlooked that whenever I was picking up this book, but it says, "This deliciously madcap novel has it all. Murder in Prague, time travel, a misanthropic Beethoven, tantric sex, and a dwarf with attitude." So yeah, I totally missed that whole sex is a thing in this book. So yes it is. And I was completely thrown by this absolutely pheromonal episode that happens at the very beginning. And I was like, okay, our main character, who is female, her name is Sarah, and she begins sexualizing everybody around her. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't understand why. Like, I'm enjoying it. I like it, but I was not prepared for it to be as weird as it is. There's so many weird elements of this. Drugs that transport you to a different time. The KGB is involved. The CIA is involved. Prague is strange. And the characters in the book are very odd. Like, I don't even know what to say. I am excited to start Eden. I should be doing that very soon. I'm actually really entranced by the novel that I'm reading, the one I was just talking about, and it's stopping me from picking up Eden, but how do you rate a book that has so many weird elements and has just this odd tone and kind of just jumps all over the place as far as plot goes? I don't even know. I might end up landing at a 3 just because I don't know how to rate this novel. But it's entertaining. Definitely entertaining. And With the Fire on High is also available at my library. So depending on how quickly I get through these two, I might be picking up that one as well. I said that in my last vlog and didn't do it, but I was just so bummed by the Reign of Dragons and reading Red Rising again that I was just like, I'm gonna play some Dragon Age and not read anymore. Because that's just me. BioWare heals my soul. But yeah, very much looking forward to these next 2 books and continuing on with my Pop Sugar Challenge. I'm still doing good on my Pop Sugar Challenge. I don't know that I'm as ahead on it as I would like to be, because I would like to finish out the year working on series that I want to read or finish. And like, I did a whole series on series. You guys can jump to that if you'd like and see the books that I do want to read before the end of the year. I also want to revisit the video of giving authors a second chance, and I have a couple of books on that I need to work on and give you guys a video of, did it work out or did it not? But yeah, that is my update for now, and I'll see you guys later. Checking in again. My dog apparently wants to say hi. Say hello, Drake. Hi, Drake. What, you say hi to them? No, not to me. To them. Hi. Alright guys, here I am for another update. I have to say that my reading is going very well. If you don't know, the kiddos are on spring break. My kiddo is playing Fortnite because he doesn't get to play during school and, well, on school days, so he is enjoying that while I enjoy reading. And then we come together and hang out later, but it gives me a couple hours to read and him a couple hours to play. Fine by me. We're all gamers in our household too, so, you know, I feel like it's a little, most parents are like, how can you sit there and let your kids play video games for so many hours? I'm like, girl, I would do it. I would do it in a heartbeat if someone would let me sit around and play video games all day. I'd do it. My husband would do it. So why am I not gonna let my kid do it? Doesn't make sense to me, but hey. Okay, so to the books. City of Dark Magic. This is a weird one. Real weird one. I finished it. I want to say it's good, but I don't know if I can recommend this to anybody because it's weird. Really weird. So our main character, her name is Sarah. She is a music student and she gets this job to catalog some works from Beethoven in a castle in Prague, and goes over there and finds out there's some weird stuff going on in Prague. And I read the blurb of this book to you guys last time, but man, I was not expecting half of the stuff that happened in here. It's weird. Very weird. I liked it though. I mean, I don't know how to rate it either though, because it is so weird that I'm like, my ratings are usually based on enjoyment anyway, but this is trippy.
It's very trippy. It's an acid trip. Like, that's what this book is. It's an acid trip. Not that I've ever had an acid trip, but I don't know what else to say about that. Like, it's just an odd little duck. And today, with my reading time, I read Eden by Tim Levin. I liked this book. I really, really enjoyed it. And I almost want to say I'm a little disappointed because I was so pumped for this. But I'm not really. It's not as good as I wanted it to be, but I'm still gonna rate it 4 stars. Like, I think what it is I was 5-star anticipation, and it's a 4. So it's still a win. Just not the 5-star that I thought it was gonna be. And I thought it was gonna be 5-star because sci-fi and horror put together, you're gonna shove 2 of my favorite things into one book. However, if you guys have read The Ritual by Adam Neville, right? Yes, I'll put a picture of that book up. This reads a lot like The Ritual, just with sci-fi elements thrown in and a little bit of a paranormal edge to it. But I liked The Ritual when I read it. I liked Eden. Now, post reading this book, I did download The Silence and another book of Tim Levin's on Audible that was on the free catalog because I did like this one. So I want to see what other works he has. And I know that he does a lot of fandom type stuff. Like, he wrote for Firefly and I think Star Wars. And there's a couple of other fandom things that he's done. So I'm also intrigued by that because I love partaking in fandom and reading novels from my favorite games and my favorite franchises. But yeah, really, really enjoyed this. I'll give more of a wrap up in my wrap up. And on top of that, I am 25% into With the Fire on High. I am just going to throw this out there that I am reading this for a prompt in my Pop Sugar Challenge and no other reason. I needed a book set in a restaurant and I do not like contemporaries. So I am enjoying it as much as can be expected. And I like the writing. The writing's good. Elizabeth Acevedo usually writes in poetry. And so this is a transition to a novel style. And I like it for as much as I can like it. Like I said, like. Blah, blah, blah. But I am thoroughly enjoying the cooking elements of this book because I am a foodie and I do cook. And I actually reached out to one of the people on my Discord, or the Discord that I'm a part of, because it's not mine, it's just the one I'm a part of, Shelf Space, and she reads books about food and stuff like that, and I was like, hey girl, have you read this yet? And I will link her down below. She even does these subscription boxes with books and food, so I'll link her channel down below so you can check her out and you can check out the boxes that she has available. I myself have not received one yet. I have too many subscription boxes, and that's the only reason why. But I've seen the boxes, and there is quality stuff in them, so you should check that out. But I do like the book so far. We are following a teenage mother who wants to explore her love of cooking, and she is I can't think of the word. The word has left my brain. She is a maestro of cooking. That's not the word I'm looking for, but she is very, very good at it. It's a very natural talent for her, and her school starts to offer a culinary arts program with the opportunity to travel to Spain to explore their culinary taste, explore more culinary experiences. But she is 16 and has a child, so she was 16 when she got pregnant, so she might be older than that now. She might be 18 now, but it's interesting. The writing's good. I'm enjoying the food aspects of it so much. I want to make the food that she's talking about, like hardcore. But yes, so far we have I don't know how to rate the book because it's odd. A 4-star and a book that I'm enjoying despite the fact that I don't like this genre. So I would call that good. I am trying to pick up some more of my Pop Sugar books because I realized I am a little bit behind. Not drastically behind, but a little bit behind because of my horrible February. And so I need to make progress on some of those. I'm really, really interested in getting to Recursion by Blake Crouch. The Book Woman of Troublesome Creek. I do have that audiobook. It was a free download, so I need to get to that. I would really like to get to The City of Brass. However, I want to actually own the physical books of those, so I'm trying not to buy the audiobook. Lives of Locke, Lamora, and Theft of Swords are still on here because I haven't read them yet. And I really, really want to read No Fat Gloss. But my issue with ebooks is really, really rearing its head like hardcore lately. This whole year, I've had a really hard time reading ebooks. And I have Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne. I have Andy Weir, Project Hail Mary. I have some books that I have been waiting on and some books that I am excited about. And I'm reading a Sarah Beth Durst, so these are things that I should be blowing through. And then I have No Fat Gloss, which has sat in my ebook library since December, and I'm gonna break down on the 23rd and get the audiobook. Watch me. It's gonna happen because I can't handle the fact that I have it in an ebook. Plus it's $12.99 because, you know, I own the ebook. I have a lot to read, but a lot I'm still excited about. I am finding that there are a few on here that the more I look at them, the more I don't want to read the books that are there. And it's because I've put contemporaries there as placeholders, and then the more I read the contemporaries that are on here, the more I'm like, I don't want to read any more contemporary. So if you guys have thoughts on a book that has a family tree that is not a series that shall not be named, let me know, because right now the book that I have there, I'm just not sure about. And I might be changing the prettiest cover because I have the 10,000 Doors of January on there. And I have found out from a few people that it reads like The Night Circus, The Starless Sea. So I don't know if I'm too excited about that one anymore either. But yeah, that's my update for now. And I'm trucking through this month. I'm pretty happy with my reading right now. I hope I can keep it up. I hope I get some of these Pop Sugar books knocked out. And my TBR 10, guys, I have Dead Ringers, The Fifth Heart, The Lies of Locke, Lamora, and God's Grave. That's all I've got left. And I'm so excited to read all of these. So I think when I am excited about the books that I'm going to be reading, it's so much easier to push myself through the week. And last month, I did try to change it up because I was having some insomnia and stuff like that. And I wasn't super excited about the books that I was reading. Not that I didn't like them. There were books that I ended up loving. And then I read Valor, and Valor was hard for me to read. So even though I loved it, it was hard for me to read. So that took up a majority of my brain power. And then there were books that I was just, oh, those are on my shelves. They weren't things that I was super pumped for. And yeah. All right, that is my update for now, and I will check in with you when I have read some more. Like I said, currently reading With the Fire on High to get through a couple of my Pop Sugar. As far as the TBR 10 goes, I'm probably going to do The Lies of Locke, Lamora. I've put it off. You guys know why I put it off. I'm scared. I meant to start my month off with it because I was afraid of the writing style. But then the audio from my library got released to me for The Well of Ascension. And of course, I'm doing the Sanderson read along, and I started that. And I've been buying the hardback editions of my Sanderson books, and I ordered The Well of Ascension, and man, I was bummed. So I'm not a huge stickler for all of my books looking the same. However, I want my Gwens to be the same, my Ryans to be the same, and my Sandersons to be the same because they are very prominently displayed. And I got the Waterstones 10th Anniversary Edition, which is great. I'm happy that I own that copy. I paid way too much for it, but I was just like, what the heck? When it got here and it didn't match, oh, I was so mad, so mad. So I'm gonna buy it again, but I'm gonna buy it from Books A Million so that I know that it's the right thing and not Amazon. I love shopping at Amazon because the books are a little bit more inexpensive, but man, I hate Amazon sometimes. All right, that is my update. Bye. Hello. I am going to just come out and admit, which you guys already know, but I don't like contemporaries enough to continue with The Fire on High. I have to say that I get why people like this novel. I get it. It's a little hard-hitting. It is a dreamer type novel. And man, do I want to make all of the food that she is talking about. I am down for that. I would love to try her cooking, but I have no interest in this book. And this is part of the reason that I love doing the Pop Sugar Challenge, because I think that you never know that you don't like something until you try it. And
I'm all for trying new genres. I am all for trying new authors and everything, but I am not enjoying this book. And the sad thing is, it's well written. I can see that. It's hard hitting. I can see that. And I want to like it because I am a foodie, so there are elements of the story that appeal to me. However, I am just not invested because of the contemporary aspect of the book. I like the supernatural. I like fantasy. I like to escape reality, and this just isn't allowing me that escape. It is too much normal. And I'm not enjoying it. I need some type of fantasy element to get me through, and this just isn't providing that. So I am going to go ahead and DNF this book, and I am not going to try and fill this slot unless I can find a fantasy novel that centers around a restaurant, because I'm not digging this. And you know, I could be so bold as to place The Name of the Wind here and do a reread, but I'm not gonna do that. And I haven't found any other books set in a restaurant. Why are you always whining at me when I do my videos? So, unless you guys have some suggestions of books set in a restaurant that are fantasy or a magical realism, and even magical realism I have a problem with sometimes, I can't seem to find anything that is intriguing enough to put in the slot. And I am seriously considering if I am going to actually read some of the other contemporaries on my list, because I have hit my max of contemporaries for the year, I think. I still am kind of excited to read One to Watch. I think it'll be fun. But there's nothing appealing about contemporaries to me, and this is just driving that home. Again, I am thankful to the Pop Sugar Challenge for actually pointing it out to me that I'm not a fan of contemporaries. I think that is one of the benefits of doing the Pop Sugar Challenge. You really start to narrow down your tastes, and yeah, so that is my update. Did I say I'm going to move on to Lives of Locke Lamora? Because that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fill my head with fantasy. Alright, have a good one. See you in probably my wrap up, because the two previous updates that I gave you guys were super long for some reason, and this video is starting to be really, really long, and I still have a wrap up to do. Bye. Alright, here we are for my wrap up and final thoughts. So let's go ahead and talk about the books that I read for the TBR 10, starting with City of Dark Magic. So I really, really enjoyed this novel. However, it's definitely a weird one. Definitely a lot going on that I wasn't anticipating. And like I said before, Sarah is kind of horny. She sexualizes people a lot in this book, and I was not prepared for that. Should have been by the blurb, but I wasn't. And there's a lot going on in here as far as murder mystery. There's a lot going on in here as far as KGB, CIA, just so many things, so much. I did give this book 3.5 stars. And I did that because while I liked many of the elements in it, I think it got off base quite often and was just weird in ways that it didn't need to be. But I did find it quite entertaining. So I would recommend this if you're looking for something that's just off the beaten path and you don't mind sex in your books and you like a little bit of political intrigue. You should pick this up, but again, there's a lot of things that going on in this book that are just odd. The second book that I read would be Eden by Tim Levin. I really, really enjoyed this book. I did have this on my 5-star predictions video. However, I gave it a 4-star. It was good. I liked it. There were really great things about it. But the reason I ended up giving it a 4 instead of a 5 is because it got slow in some places and there was a lot to sift through in this book. It wasn't convoluted or anything like that, but there was just a lot to sift through, and many times it got a little repetitive, but this reads much like The Ritual by Adam Neville, and I liked that book as well. I did end up picking up Tim Levin's other works because I did like this, so 4-star. Very happy with it. Eden is a different world in the fact that these are places that have been created on Earth to help civilization survive because they've killed off all of the natural elements of the world. And so these were built so that people could survive, could breathe. They're called the lungs of the earth. Eden is one of them, and there are people who like to go explore these places. Our main characters are Dylan and Jen, a father and daughter team. And Jen actually puts this plan into motion to travel to Eden because she's looking for her mother. They feel like her mother has abandoned them. However, Jen knows that her mother is sick and her father does not know that. They've been separated for a while. And when they get to Eden, things go very, very wrong. And looking for the expedition that her mother set out on, they are coming across bodies. They are not coming across people. So I really think that any sci-fi fan would like this. And if you guys like Adam Neville, I think you guys would like this as well. Now, the other book that I read, I did end up DNFing it. And it was With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. And I hope I'm saying that name right. I didn't like it, but I kind of knew going into it that I wasn't going to like it. I don't like contemporary novels, and I've had my fill of contemporary novels. So let me just say, this book is good. It's easy to read. The writing is good. I did like the writing, and the foodie elements of this book are absolutely fantastic. The story is just not something that is appealing to me, and I know I DNF'd it for the reason that I didn't want to give it a bad rating. So I did get about 60% of the way through it before I DNF'd it, and then was like, this is just not the book for me. But I've been recommending it to people who do like contemporary, and I have been recommending it to people who like foodie culture. So I don't think it's a bad book at all. It's just not the book for me. Now on to the book that I am currently reading, The Lies of Locke Lamora. I love this book. It is so good. So good. I was like 12% into this and already singing its praises because this is the type of humor that will always get me. It's crude, it's vulgar, and I adore that. If you guys don't know, Brent Weeks is another one of my favorite authors, so this is definitely speaking my language. I adore it, and I am about 30% into it now, and I can't wait to finish it. I think I am going to really love this series.
So once I am finished with The Lies of Locke Lamora, I will probably read The Fifth Heart, and then I have God's Grave that I'm planning to read as well. The only book left would be Dead Ringers by Christopher Golden, and I feel like I am making very good progress on this particular TBR. And if I get to week 4 and I have read all of these books, then I am going to draw some more to read from my can and see what we come up with that way. But I want to keep this pretty short because the vlogs were long. So like, subscribe, do all the fun things, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.